he and Dave were playing tag, and Dave chased him into the street, and Charlie got run over by a car. But, and then later on, my father took us up to Salt Duck Hot Springs, and you'd have to go over a winding road, and there was no rails on the side of the roads then, and some car was coming down, and he went on the wrong side, and we hit head on, and Charlie went through the windshield, and so...
Is that where he got that scar on his chin?
Yeah, but he had a lot of blood. They damn near bled to death.
Huh. All right, and then you had a baby sister. No, she wasn't a baby. You were the baby.
No, yeah, I was the baby. Yetta's the next in line.
Okay. All right.
Then Mark came along, and he was the baby.
Well, what happened to your mother?
My mother got cancer when I was 14. She passed on. She suffered terrible. I remember for 6 months or so, and they didn't know what they did today and stuff. But she had a tough life.
Okay, and then your father remarried?
She was a little heavy.
Go ahead, talk about your... Yeah, she was heavy. Say more.
Like, I didn't hear you.
Go ahead. What else?
Oh, she was liked to laugh, and she was a joy. And she had 3 sisters, and they were kind of close all the time. One sister, Auntie, Molly, used to have us over for Friday night dinners.
What was her name? Molly? Her name was...
Molly Ribstein. She married a guy, Dave Ribstein, who came out of Russia, went to South Africa, and wound up somehow in Seattle. And
Seattle was a big blustering city, yeah? Blustering. A lot of activity in Seattle. You were in the actual city of Seattle, not on the east side or Bellevue or... What was in Bellevue at that time? Had you even heard of Bellevue? In Kirkland?
They used to have a apple blossom or cherry blossom festival in Bellevue, and you could drive around the lake, and Bellevue was like 2,000 or 3,000 people, and the only way to get there was to drive around.
Yeah, okay. Well, there was no bridge back then. All right, so then the war happened, yeah? There was some shit going down in Europe.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, did your father remarry?
Yeah, after my mother died, they sat for a year, you know, and then when the year was over, he got married to, what the hell?
Ruth.
Yeah, Ruth Brenner.
Okay. And then they had a baby named Mark.
Ruth was a...
That was a few years later. That was after. What happened during the war? So there was a war in Europe. And then the Japs bombed Pearl Harbor. What happened?
We were all in the bakery about 11 o'clock when the news came over about Pearl Harbor. And my brother Sam was home on leave with another soldier he brought up. And, you know, that was stark news, you know. But before Pearl Harbor happened, you know, they call it a surprise attack.
Yeah.
And I can remember being in history class for the week before, and the teacher would bring a headline, "War is imminent," and we gave Japan an ultimatum, and they ignored it, and so it really shouldn't have been.
Yeah, but your father was Austrian. Did he know what was going on didn't anybody know what was going on with Hitler and in Germany? And what was going on in Austria and Poland and everywhere?
Let's see.
That the Germans were trying to occupy Europe?
Well,
And collecting Jews?
Yeah, there was some, my dad used to read a Jewish paper every day, and there was a lot of articles about Hitler and crap, but nobody took him serious on this side of the world. And
What year was this?
oh, hell, this was 1936, 35. He wrote a book called Mein Kampf, or
Yeah.
Mein Battle, and they detailed everything he was going to do, and nobody paid any attention.
Wow.
They threw him in the Huskow for a couple of years in Germany, and he came out, he was stronger than ever with the following.
Huh, from that book.
Huh?
From that book. He made it big from that book.
Yeah.
Huh. So, who joined up for the service?
Who joined up the service?
Yeah, family.
Well, immediately after Pearl Harbor, Davy signed up, and Sammy was already in the Army because he had been drafted.
Okay, what year did Uncle David sign up?
What?
What year did my Uncle Dave sign up?
He was killed in 1944 over. He was a belly gunner in a B-17, and they.
Well, in 1941, was he in the service from 1941 to 1944? How long was he in the service?
Huh?
How long was he in the service?
Well, he was in the service from 1941 until 40. Let's see, I got in 43. 44, I think, is when he passed.
So, let's see.
And then after the.
I mean, he was in the Army for 3 years. What did he do?
He was a ground crew and an airplane fixer, and he could have stayed a ground crew one, but he wanted to be a gunner and go in one of those fighter planes.
And he learned how to fly.
Yeah.
And where did he get killed?
Yeah.
What country?
Oh, they got back to England.
He was killed in England.
He was stationed in England. They had a.
Do you know where he was stationed in England? Do you know where he was stationed?
Oh, outside of London, I think there is a.
Okay, but how long was he in England for?
Probably 6 months or so before he died, maybe a year.
Okay, and so he was stationed in England, and they were flying over.
They were flying over Germany, and I guess they got some flak, was shrapnel, and
Yeah.
by the time they got back to the base in England, he was gone.
Did they recover his body?
Pardon? Yeah, they buried him, and then
Where did they bury him?
some cemetery in London, and then after the war, they said to the Americans, if you want the body of your son's home, we'll send it home. So they brought him back to Seattle, and we had a second funeral and second crying over.
Oh. That must have been the shit. So you don't know much about his life when he was in England, or what he was doing, or did he send you letters?
Oh, I know he had a girlfriend.
He had a girlfriend in England.
Well, yeah, he's.
So how do I know I don't have? How do you know I don't have a cousin in
Well,
with
he
a
was
British
actually
accent?
single dude, and, I remember one time, I don't know, I think it was in Texas or whatever. I was just a new sailor, and he was, had been in the service for 3 or 4 years. And I went down to visit him in San Antonio, and they took me to a beer parlor, him and his friends, and geez, I had about 7 beers before. I'd only have maybe 1 or 2. They poured me back on the train to go to Corpus Christi,
Wow.
where I was stationed.
Okay.